Hi, this is Kathy Vic Deeply Awake, and partly because it's the last day that I'm going to be broadcasting and the thoughts are coming really, really quickly, and partly because I think it's really important for the human to claim mastery and to not always present. I think it's important for me to not present some information channeled, because I think that it affected me, and I know I can explain it very well, and I think it's really helpful to have a human being do it, someone who's been through it. So I'll make this as concise and as quick as I can, okay? This is a discussion of the chakras as well as dimensional reality as I understand it, and based on the changes that I have witnessed and the reality I now inhabit. So enjoy. I want to start by explaining that I see that the third dimension is, most people in the third dimension are in a 7-based chakra system. People who are vibrating higher or faster, basically, I don't like to say higher, I say faster, can activate the 8th, and some of them activated a long time ago. I know I did. The 5th is an 8-based chakra system, and then you get to the 7th, and it's 12, and there's a lot of spin involved. So I want to explain that to you, and I want to do it by mentioning dimensionality, because there's some interest in that. So the first and second, I consider that null and energy and void energy. It's like very, very dense, unlanguageable, unknowable. It is creation, and it's just something you don't want running around willy-nilly in any other dimension. Let's just put it that way. And there is one documentary that talks about what happens when there's a tear. And I'm going to leave it at that. Those who are interested are going to find it, and those who aren't, it's best. So that's the first and second. And they're not the enemy, and it's not dark, okay? It's not evil, not anything like that. It's just very, very dense, and it's unknowable and unlanguageable, okay? It's creative energy, creation. And I always see it as black. I see it as a black hole. I don't know, but I know that there's a lot of light around that. So let's talk about third and fourth. What I think is important to understand is that when we're talking about dimensionality, we can only go up to the 6th, really. There's a gate or a portal, and then everything, it's all bets are off. We're no longer linear. So these are coupled, first and second, third and fourth, 5th and 6th, 7th and 8th. You can do the coupling, but it's a bunch of wanking at a certain point. It's like, if you need to go there, okay, dudes, with your string theory, all right. Get a bunch of boys in the room and ask them about mother energy, and they come up with string theory. It's like ridiculous, but it's a good start. I know I sound really uppity, but it's like, yeah, no, just listen to Nassim and you'll understand. You're on the wrong track. Thank you for your participation, but there's something more, and it is not linear. Thank you. String theory. How linear can you get? It's so funny. So anyway, that's a very disdainful, oh well, whatever. The uppity master speaks, right? That's what I talk about. First and second, third and fourth, 5th and 6th. Let's just talk there. We're not going to talk about the chakra-based system, because it's not really something that we need to discuss in the first and second. Let's talk about third and fourth. In the third, straight four, okay, you have to understand 4 is beaming, and it is materialized in matter and in human beings as the third. The chakra system in the third is like a target, like a bullseye, with crown connected to root, going one way only, okay? And it's never ending, and it's the big one. Then pineal and sacrum spinning the other way, okay, in a circle. They're connected. throat and solar plexus, spinning the same way as the first, and then boop, the heart. So I will talk in a separate tape about the ideas behind with the magnetic changes and I've already discussed that at great length actually, about what they did to the magnetics. So let's just leave it there. If people are interested, they'll talk to me and I'll expand it. But in the third, there's this target. You can expand it consciously to an 8-base system by just introducing, an extra color, and by spinning a little bit different. So anyhow, the idea behind this is that the fourth comes from or is expressing an 8-base chakra system. The 8-base chakra system connects you to the fifth, which is multidimensionality, physically expressed. It's just more multidimensional linear reality. The way that's done is that there's an 8 that is flowing through, many 8s, flowing through this particular chakra system that is beaming into third dimensional reality. The 8 base is the back of the brain. There's a chakra that's indigo in color and has a gold ray to it. It connects to the pineal. From there, geometrics occur. The hemispheric split is weaved. I was discussed in neurological changes, very early tape, and there's just more plasticity. As a result, there's less projection from the brain because the brain is no longer working overtime to figure out reality. It's actually beginning to talk to itself, just itself. So there's less projection of things that you don't like or can't control or whatever. That those limitations are less projected. They're brought home and placed in the heart. There's a loving of self and a coming together of self and realizing that self was never broken and this projection stuff was just part of the game. But it comes from the back of the brain being activated through willingness and just awareness, basically. But also it gets truly activated with mindful, respectful, responsible, sacred sexual expression, which can be done with anonymous sex. Really, it can be done with buddy sex. It can be done in marriage. It can be done. It's done on a soulic level, and hopefully it's done mutually. But oftentimes it doesn't even have to be. It's how you prepare your vessel and what you're doing, and how open everything is as you proceed. But the idea is that the back of the brain it has to be this whole system has got to be connected organically to the base so that it can flow. And this is related to the yoni and the lingam. This also indigo, and it is also of the gold ray, not what we would consider, think of how many sexual projections there are in this culture alone. It's just massive. It's massive. And so coming together and becoming more integrated, honey, I know a lot of people who are more integrated and they express their reality of self and other much differently. And the people who are more integrated are much more respectful of the ideas of consent, communication, what ownership of another human being and their Akash really means, and just it's assuming responsibility for self in a brand new way in sexual partnership. And this can occur with an 8-base system, and then from there that's the 6th. That's the 6th expressing into the 5th. And the 6th is unconditional love. It's benevolence. It's God. It's look at any of the geometries that are based in 6. They're beautiful. And 6 is half of 12. I mean, it's just it's stunning. And so it expresses in the fifth, and the fifth is a wobbly, it's very difficult harmonic. It's a difficult geometry. It's not stable. It's not symmetrical. It creates a push to learn and grow and do and be and blah, blah, blah. But it's more spiritually based, and it's more integrated in a multidimensional reality. So that's the fifth and sixth, of going from the 7-base system, being aware of the eighth, just working with the color. That's all you really have to do. Start working with 4s and 8s. Start playing with it, and what you'll find is that there's just more spin. When you've got 8 going, holy moly, there's more spin. And the spin is all. It just is. It's creative energy. The spin is all, and all is spin. That's it. So then from there, everyone is set up. Everyone has 12-layer DNA. It's just a given. It just is. Everyone's set up for this, for complete and utter activation. That's the idea. And it's just how much you believe it. That's it. So there's the 5th and 6th, and then there's the 7th. And that is the gateway. That's the 8th. Well, of course, the 8th. Look at what we're doing. We've doubled the harmonic, and we're now a full 8. Eternity, immortal. We're expressing something that's far larger than we can possibly imagine, and it expresses in the 7th. What a number. What a number. A 4 plus a 3 is 7. A 3 plus a 7 is an 11. It just gets so pristine. It becomes so more, just so much more beautiful. And complicated. Complex, not complicated. And divine. And that's I mean, and then there's more. There's just simply more. And so there's a way to get there. And what I really want to say is that you don't have to know anything about this. None of it. It's not going to change anything, really. It may quicken things. That's it. And so that's why if you're watching it, it's purposeful, because if it gets in, then yeah, if you're not aware of it consciously and then you're made aware of it, then things change. That's kind of how it happens, and that's done through permission. And that's pushing play. So that's what I understand about dimensions. And the chakra-based system is just an expression of that. It's a way that we physicalize it. And so I'm not really sure what I understand about the 12 chakra system is that the chakras are not all, obviously, they just aren't based on in your body. Oh, God, no. Oh, no, 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 no. They're galactic. They are multiversal in their reach. It's just a completely different system. And we're not there to even I'm not even there to describe it yet. I'm still learning. There are others who know more. I think Dr. Todd Ovakaitis knows more. Certainly Lee knows more. There are many who probably know more than I do. Probably, you think? But that's what I know of it. And it kind of gets me along. Does this help me as I'm walking around? That's always the question. Oh, that's really fascinating. Is this going to help me? Like sing for my supper or anything? Is this going to help me get a date? Yeah, right. Well, I don't know. It's pretty. It seems to make a lot of sense. Because I know with 12, all I know about 12 is that there are actually 24 spinning balls of the closest thing they can come to a definition is they kind of, with like a U, say there are 24 spinning balls of energy. It's not really a very complete word for what that is. But you get to 12 and you're talking spin and counterspin. geometrics that are completely astounding. And I know it's true what the ancient says, that the geometrics do create sound. Geometrics create everything physical. I don't know how I know that, I just know it. And so it's the 12, and I think that's okay. It's sort of like, okay, well, now that I'm going to re-enter polite society, I'm finding that it's just everything's fine, and I'm communicating with myself differently, and it's just I'm having a ball, and it's really okay. Everything's cool. So that's what I understand about going from, well, for dimensions and chakras and la. If you want to know about the changes that were made in the magnetic grid, or like they tell me that group consciousness is placed on magnetic agreements. Basically, they're you can call them agreement fields, you can call them magnetic quarantines or whatever, but it's a group consciousness choice of how to hold energy and express and create a reality. And this reality was all about proving to self and identity and just forgetting about divinity so that we could see it in ourselves and others and come back home and all that happy stuff. The end of the Kali Yuga, the beginning of the Golden Age, or whatever you want to call it, the beginning of the fifth sun, the Golden Era, the New Earth. There are a lot of different metaphors for getting to a system that is really yes and no, black and white, up and down. All those things are, yeah, it's really nice. It's sort of like that. Yeah, that's, yeah. But there's more. There's more. So the 12th is like, there's more. So the 24 spinning balls of whatever, plasma or creation, or is what the fifth and sixth law of physics is trying to get through to me. Quasars and pulsars or whatever. It's just these 24 spinning balls, and they're not from all around here, and they express with the vehicle differently. And I'm physically, I'm just changing very, very quickly. I can't leave an electronic device unplugged. I just have to hold it in my hand or talk into it. It goes, battering down. Yeah, it doesn't, I'm draining batteries. I have an agreement with my car. It's just going to keep on spinning. It doesn't have a choice, and it's happy to. It's like a cow. Sure, I'm happy to give you a steak. So I'm going to go have steak fajitas with my sister and not be multidimensional. How's that? Ooh, I can't hardly wait. Yeah, I'm just super happy, and I'm really glad to be home in my body and my skin. And if this little talk helps you feel better, awesome. If it makes you feel awful, I'm sorry. It wasn't intentional. And I hope you can forgive me your discomfort. All right, I guess that's it. Thanks. Bye.